Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, right now I'm going to be doing a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers, also for people who find themselves on this channel without any Pisces anything. You probably an empath and you're probably going to be receiving messages from soul. Okay. So, whatever resonates is yours. Whatever doesn't, just leave it be. Just leave it. All right, let's get started. So, I asked soul what this reading was going to be about, and I was told there are important factors that need to be considered. Okay. There are important factors that it'll probably affect the way you perceive things. You need to have clarity before you decide something. Before you commit to whatever the decision is, you need to have clarity. Okay, it's counter. I spit. Sorry. Oh my god. It's counterproductive for you to make decisions based on only partial information. Because really, once you know everything that you need to know, the factors that are important, um, it changes the way you see the situation. Okay. So don't allow only your emotions. You need to also allow some logic to be included before you decide things. Um, Emotion is important, but logic is equally important. Okay. So let's see. All right. One, two, three. I'm pulling the cards face down so that I don't freak myself out. Okay. Oops. Okay. Face down. Face down. All right. So, and then this is the final. Well, there's also that deck. Whatever. Let me not look. And I cut the deck so I don't freak myself out. There's plenty of things to consider, I'm told. Plenty of things. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There you go. All right. Flip them all over. See where this is going to take us. Okay. Oh, where is it going to take us? To the west, to completion. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. This is really telling me that it's time for whatever this cycle is that continues over and over and over. It's time for it to end. Okay. Four is the number of the self. Look at how the brain is being illuminated by this missing piece. Hmm. There are portions of information, parts of your understanding that maybe were skewed in some way. Um, yeah, yeah. Let me, I'm going to pull it in order. Here we go. Card number 7, distorted perceptions. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. So, this is the missing piece. The missing piece is a realization of what this actually is, where you're allowing yourself to become very clear as to maybe what happened in the past, maybe what you're struggling through right now, maybe the way you're seeing things is creating more heartache than is actually necessary. Um, Empaths and Pisceans, we have this tendency to do this thing where if someone doesn't tell us, or if we don't have the courage to ask, we will create a story in our own heads. And usually, the story that we create in the midst of that silence, it's a lot worse than what's actually going on. So Michael's giving me this example of maybe there's some sort of like friend or partner or something, and the two of you had a breakdown in communication. You didn't know what happened. You just know that, there was a series of events that caused you guys to no longer see eye to eye. You each went your separate ways, and you didn't quite understand what it was that was going on. And because you don't have, the luxury, he says, of the luxury of asking and receiving an answer, because maybe you have asked and they didn't answer. Because you don't have the luxury of receiving an answer, you're creating this entire storyline of how you are the villain, how you are not enough, how they were a royal and you are a peasant, and that's why. Um, Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's more a case of they're going through their own thing, and your presence triggers within them this recognition that it's time for them to begin recognizing what's actually going on within themselves. That's a very difficult thing for many people, many, if not most, people to address. These aspects of themselves that are very distorted. They can't quite find appreciation or value in that. And here you come, hey, I'm here, look at there, look at that. And it's not necessarily that you're actually literally doing that, it's your presence does that. It brings to light very real aspects of them. Sorry for my sounds. Michael is bringing up this whole thing of like, what if, what if, um, whoever this is to you has never actually been able to be in love in the way that they feel for you? What if this is someone who has, maybe they've had connections and relationships with other people, but not at the depth they suddenly feel for you? What if this is the scariest thing for them ever, where it's like, wow, I've never been not in control in a connection. Um, this is very uncomfortable. This is very scary. Like they recognize that they really have no control when it comes to you. They can't play the games that they normally play when it comes to you. And it's just like, whoa, what do I do? And for some, they don't have that emotional maturity to know, like, okay, I can't just run away from this. I can't just this and that. I have to actually face this. This is an opportunity for me to grow myself. It's a huge risk that they're taking, allowing you to be a part of their lives. And maybe they're just afraid to take that risk. Maybe, ooh, this is starting to sound like I'm trying to convince you to reconnect with somebody. I don't like that. Okay, shifting directions. Card number 23, defend to the end the worthwhile. Now, with this, I feel like, again, shifting directions. I don't feel like this is continuing to reference whatever this person is that was just being referenced. I feel like this has to do with another direction in your life. Like maybe there are things that are happening in the background that I don't know. Maybe you're not aware of it. Maybe you've been so distracted by other things that you haven't noticed that there's some plotting going on in the background. Who's plotting on you? Is this just like a paranoia, like like waiting for the other shoe to drop? Is that what that is? My attention is being drawn to her eyes. It almost looks like her eyes are going in the opposite direction. Maybe it's just a case of lazy eye, I don't know. Or maybe it's like I'm being shown a chameleon and how their eyes shift in different directions. Maybe this is an indication that you've been being a chameleon. You haven't really been allowing your true self to shine through in different situations and circumstance, different connections. Um, Maybe it's kind of like an indicator that it's time. Excuse me. It's time for you to assert yourself as you are. to assert your most authentic self, allowing that to come forward. Defend to the end the worthwhile. There's so many things about this, like, defending yourself, um, not allowing this fear of hurting other people's feelings to enable their abuse of you. It also kind of taps into this feeling of like you might have been too dismissive for something too quickly. You might have dismissed something a little too quickly, and you need to reevaluate, like a revaluation. But what would it be? What was the thing that you, hmm, I don't know. I guess the only thing that I can think of is like that connection. Yeah, I don't know. Um, defend to the end the worthwhile. It's important to note defense has nothing to do with attacking. Defense is a response. It is a response. It is not you initiating things. We have to make sure um, we really know the difference between the two and are able to discern when we are defending and when we are attacking. This is in no way, shape, or form encouragement to attack. Okay. Um, whatever this is, it's going to bring your wisdom forward. It's going to bring your ability to discern to the forefront. And maybe that discernment needs to be reassessed because maybe we're not truly able to discern in the way we think we are. Like, are we really discerning something, or are we just trying to pretend like we're taking a look, but in reality, we don't want to address? We don't want to observe, to really dive deep into whatever this is. There are factors that need to be considered. And if you're willing to ignore the factors, you're not going to be able to actually truly consider them. A willingness to ignore is a form of avoidance. Okay. It's a form of avoidance. And avoidance, all that does is guarantee the lesson will circle back around in a more potent, more painful manner. And I mean, unless you enjoy masochism, unless you enjoy punishing yourself, that's not going to be fun. Padma Sambhava, the 8th century Mahasiddha wild man. Intense practice yields great results. So, intensity. This is about intensity increasing. And the intensity will be directly tied to the level of growth, the level of so much stuff. It's like, it's like how many lessons being all piled into one moment. I'm going to be honest, this is kind of making me nervous. So many lessons all piled into one moment. A component being reintegrated. The brain looks whole, but there's this component that creates um, a triggering, an ignition, some sort of illumination. Um, this is okay. Card number 15, gratitude. Just continue to walk your path with gratitude. A grateful heart creates so many different opportunities for growth, so many different ways in which you can really allow yourself to see what's going on in your life, see how your reactions and your response are creating more struggle or more opportunity for growth, for healing. It's time for you to really hold yourself accountable. Okay. Allow yourself to truly see what's going on within you. Allow yourself to truly recognize. Um, it's another message of like being outside of your element, fluidity, outer core, stepping out of that water. What if you're hiding yourself away? What if you're using your element to separate yourself from other people? Because Pisceans and empaths, we have an elevated ability to do that. We're able to very much do that very easily. Where We use excuses of, maybe we're shy. Maybe, oh, I would prefer to just watch because, people watching helps me to understand others. Oh, I would prefer to just help, not receive help, but just offer it. Um, this is a form of avoidance. I recognize that I used to do this quite a bit. And yeah, I also, Michael, Michael is pointing this out where um, I used to really, really do this thing like all the time. No one really knew anything about me because I would consistently, like, if they asked me how I'm doing, oh, I'm good. How are you? How's everything? Oh my gosh, didn't you have something you were doing? How did that go? Oh, hey, by the way, how is your sister? Oh, how is your best friend? Oh, did you have lunch yet? And no one would get an opportunity to ask me anything about myself. It was a form of avoidance. I didn't want to talk about myself. I didn't want to talk about what I was struggling through. I didn't want to talk about my thoughts on things. I didn't want to share any part of myself. And the most efficient way I was able to figure out how to avoid someone calling me out on my own struggles was by focusing on them. And if you consistently focus on other people, if you consistently make it a point to only have conversation about what other people are going through, then you're probably avoiding. If you're keeping yourself busy, helping other people, if you're depleting yourself so much, giving everything away to everyone else and keeping nothing for yourself, um, that's going to be changed. So that type of behavioral pattern can be changed in several different ways. The primary ways that I've noticed, um, the people that you use, yeah, we're using them. We're not actually being saints. We're using them. We're using them as a way to avoid the work we need to do on ourselves. So, the people that you use to enable your own self sabotage, self denial, self deprivation, those type of things, they'll be taken away from you. Um, Either there will be some sort of conflict, um, conflict of interest, conflict of perception, just some sort of conflict that takes them away. So now you can't use them as an excuse. And then, secondly, um, everyone just kind of disappears. Dark night of the soul. There's no problem. There's no drama. There's no argument. But you suddenly just realize, wait, no one has called me in a long time. I look at social media and all of my friends are going out and they're not inviting me. What is going on? What is this about? Why did I get cut out? And it's not necessarily that there's a problem. It's not necessarily that, someone's upset with you or they're intentionally leaving you out. I think your soul has a lot to do with this. Your soul will only allow this type of behavior for so long before it steps in. And your soul absolutely has the power, authority, willingness, and ability to do this. Souls are very patient. We are a lower expression of what our soul is, right? So, a soul, just like a good parent, will allow you to make decisions for yourself, will allow you to avoid, delay, all of these amazingly annoying things that we do to ourselves. And then, after a certain period, your soul will kind of take the stance of, this is your final warning. If you are not going to comply, if you are not going to get back on track with what we are trying to learn in this life, we will force it upon you. And that's usually when things end. The very things that you're using to keep yourself shackled to a limited way of being, those will be taken away. They will end. For example, when we had first moved to Colorado years ago, my husband got an amazing job with this company, and they were working on bringing him on as a permanent employee because he was a contractor at the time. They were they were planning this already, and that was the day he was supposed to find out. They were supposed to make official this invitation to join the company as a full-time employee. When he went to work that morning, Michael started this conversation with me, and he was like, I know you don't want to do this. You need to call him right now, and you need to ask him to quit his job. It's time for you to leave Colorado. And I was like, are you fucking serious? I'm not doing that shit. He's about to be offered a permanent position at an amazing company that he's happy at. Like, it's a good, solid income. I'm not fucking asking him to quit his job. That's stupid. I'm not going to do that. And as soon as I said that, he asked me, are you sure? And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm sure. That's so stupid. I'm not asking him to quit his job. And then my phone rings. My husband's upset. His company just informed his entire department they're laying everyone off, including the people who were just hired permanently the day before. So it's this thing of like, now I feel badly because maybe if I had just had that conversation with him and asked him to quit his job, um, the whole department wouldn't have had to be laid off. Your soul has the authority to do these types of things. It has the authority, willingness, and ableness to shift your life so dramatically and instantaneously. When you are heading towards something that is completely misaligned with where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, if suddenly all this work you put into something falls apart, your soul probably stepped in. You probably didn't want to hear the other, or recognize the other factors that were going to show you this is not the right thing to do. This is not the right place to be. This is not the right anything. Redirect, redirect. We had to redirect. Like he was so upset. He was so disappointed. Um, Up until I began live streaming all the time, he's been the breadwinner for forever. And he felt like such a failure for not being able to do this. Like, oh my god, how am I going to and I had to tell him, like, I'm so sorry. Michael asked me to tell you to quit. You weren't supposed to be there anymore, and I didn't want to put you in that position. And so that's what happened. That's what happened. Oh shoot, you just got fired. You're being redirected. These redirections, people who participate in spiritual circles and teachings and stuff, they have this really weird ass perception of like, when my soul wants me to do it, it's going to be all fluffy clouds, and I'm going to ride on a unicorn and be delivered by a rainbow on the unicorn to this beautiful, magnificent place of love and light. Ah, that's not how that shit works. That's not how that works. My redirection, and I've been bringing this up quite a bit lately. My redirection involved me being stuck in a parking lot for 5 months because I refused. I refused. And the moment I finally gave in, the moment I stopped fighting my own soul, we were out of that parking lot. Literally within that day. Within that day, we had the funds, we had the mechanic shop, because you can't just take an RV to any shop. It has to be a shop that has the equipment for large, like industrial type vehicles. It was a 39-foot RV. 39 feet. You're not lifting that shit with a regular jack. No, you're not. And the most beautiful thing when you fall into alignment with what your soul is trying to guide you to, so all of that happened, right? We raised a considerable amount of money, because I was expecting it to cost like over $1,000. Well, when you fix the brakes on an RV, it's going to cost over $1,000. The last time we had the brakes rebuilt, like a few months before that, Michael fucking broke the brakes. Okay, a few months before that, we had the brakes rebuilt. That cost $1,500. $1,500, and that was just to ensure the brakes would be good. So yeah, everything aligned. We were out of the RV. We were in a hotel room, just kind of enjoying ourselves, just lounging around, waiting for the RV to be done within like 10 days or something like that. And I think it took them, instead of the 10 days that they told us and the like thousand something dollars they quoted us, it took about 3 days. And I want to say it was like three or $500. And I was like, what? We have all this extra cash? What? Hmm. Yeah. When you align yourself with what your soul is wanting you to do, your soul doesn't want you to struggle. It doesn't. It wants you to flow through life in the most unobstructed way. And it's our own perception of this is what's supposed to happen. That's what's supposed to happen. That's what creates so much struggle. Uh, and now Michael's circling this back to the whole twin ray theme that's been going on for months now. When we have this perception of like, I'm supposed to be with this person is supposed to love me and only me. We're supposed to be this type of connection. This is how we're supposed to live. This is how we will connect. This is how many kids we're going to have. And it's just really like, whoa, who told you all this shit? Who told you that this is a plan? And then that's not even their plan. Um, like the counterpart, they don't want that with you. And that creates a lot of problem. That creates a lot of heartache. Um, and on the flip side of things, um, Michael's calling me out on shit. On the flip side of things, there's also this logic, which I am probably steeped in. This logic of, no, I don't want that motherfucker to come back because I really don't need people rocking no fucking boats. I really don't need people creating issues between my husband and I. Like, I don't need that shit. But in reality, who am I to program that? How do I know for a fact that there's going to be an individual that will create problems with my husband and I? The reality is, unless I allow an issue, there is no issue. So then where's that fear based in? The need to control. That's the same type of fear based need to control as the other type of situation where you need to control the way they see your connection and how they choose to live, knowing that connection is the utmost connection. They need to be with you. It's a need to control. It comes from a place of fear. What are you afraid of? This is a major factor that you need to consider because it affects every aspect of your life. What are you afraid of when it comes to twin ray pairings? So I recognize like um there's potentially this fear of like I don't want to hurt their feelings. Like I don't want that type of situation, circumstance to even be presented because I don't want to be put in a position where it's one or the other is no, like I don't want any of that kind of drama because again, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So then it's a better solution to attempt to control. No, it's not. It's better to allow yourself to be fully present and, just allow yourself to be fully present. There's no guarantee anyone's coming back. There's no guarantee that there's going to be any type of situation for either scenario. There's no guarantee for anything. So why would we spend any period of time worrying about hypothetical situations that you can't even guarantee is a probable one? Allowing this fear of the hypothetical to create so much resistance, so much additional adversity internally, because you're fighting yourself on this, right? You're internally warring with yourself. For what, though? For what? It really puts so much strain on the person you're with and the relationship itself by putting a label on them. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I know for me, this is such a prominent um, soul lesson or theme because this is like a third person circumstance that's gone on for so many fucking lifetimes. So many lifetimes. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that's why I'm super staunch on this is a life where I'm going to live this entire fucking life with this man until he chooses not to. Like, no one is tearing me away from this. No one. It's a healthy connection. It's one that's full of love, the type of love that I need. And I'm not walking away from it. And so maybe it's time to shift that into this place of, well, looking back at previous lives where this third party situation has been going on, maybe it's time for me to recognize, so not only was my attempt to be in a lifelong partnership with my husband in previous lives abruptly halted because of the third party circumstance, there was animosity between myself and that third party after that. Every life, that was a cycle. Murder him. Now I hate you. I hate you forever. Oh, and maybe this is a life where not only am I supposed to remain with my husband who I chose to be with, maybe it's time where I can peacefully coexist with this other person too, where we can actually have a coexistence where we're both happy, where they have their life, I have my life, and maybe at some points that life can overlap, and there can be friendly communication, and I can still be perfectly fine in my own life. Like, we just don't know how these are supposed to play out. We don't know how these things are supposed to play out, and it harms you in your journey to have such a fixed idea of what this is supposed to be. Like, such a fixed idea. No, sovereign souls will not comply. The moment someone reclaims their sovereignty, their need to comply with you and your demands is gone. It's gone. Like, it's not even rebelliousness. I'm recognizing my refusal to comply with all of it's gone. Like, I don't need that kind of shit. Thank you, Ocean Lover. I really, I don't need that kind of shit in my life. Like, I am open to friendship. I am open to soul-based connection. I'm open to working together. I am not open to repeating cycles. I'm not. I refuse. I will not comply. I will not submit. I will only submit to my soul. And I feel very strongly that in this life, my soul is encouraging me to explore other avenues within myself, where I'm not just going to, because in previous lives, there was a lot of submission on my part to this individual. Fuck that. Not this life, motherfucker. Not this fucking life. This life, I'm going to be ballsy. I'm going to be rebellious. I'm going to be combative. I'm going to choose for myself how the fuck I'm going to live. You're not going to take that shit from me. Not this life. I don't think so. Mm-mm. Nope. 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 So now we have to analyze, are we repeating the same cycles from previous lives with whoever we're repeating these cycles with? I mean, that twin ray thing is just such a specific topic. This can happen with so many different types of soul connections. So many, like, that's not the only person I have this type of theme with, where previous lives you did so much fucking wrong to me. Like, I've been murdered so many fucking times. Y'all know that. I've been fucking murdered by so many people. I'm just kind of like, what the fuck did I do to people that I keep getting murdered? Yeah, no, not in this life. You don't get to repeat that cycle with me in this life. You don't get to murder my happiness and sense of self. No, not in this life. You already did that once. You're not doing it again. So release, 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 purge, purge, purge. Whatever you're thinking this is supposed to be, it's probably not. It's probably just one tiny distorted aspect of what this really is. And again, this goes so far beyond just a twin flame, twin ray topic. We repeat these types of cycles with so many different soul connections, with other souls who at some point we deem them an enemy. At some point, they were maybe our sibling, our child, our parent. At one point, maybe they were our biggest critic. Maybe at another point, they were our biggest supporter. Like, our souls recycle different types of um, connections. We tend to incarnate with the same souls every single time. every life we have the same group that comes into life with us. We play musical chairs with each other, and this is just different things. Like I even remember one of my lives, and this was one of the first lives that I remembered so vividly as a young child. One of my siblings was my fucking spouse. It was weird. It was weird. I'm like, but siblings aren't supposed to be married. Yeah, no. I know for a fact the reason I was born into the family, the specific biological family that I was born into, because of him. He had requested on a soul level that so I can assist him in this life, be supportive, because it was going to be a very difficult one. This was, and I've known this since a small child, that would be my function in this family, is to help, um, not enable. So I'm basically the only person who could he will receive like constructive criticism from, where I could be like, "You're being an asshole today, bro," and he will receive that. He will not let me just talk shit to him, but he will receive that. He will consider it, and then he will use it to kind of shift where his thoughts are and his behaviors. We have so many different soul connections with people. So many. Everyone in your life, from the person you adore the most to the person you dislike the most, they are soul connections. And it's time for us to gather all of these different factors, these components that help to really round out the way we see our life, the people in it, the path that we're supposed to take, all this amazing stuff. You're on a sacred journey. Your sacred journey is not a linear one. It's not. It's just not. It's one that is quantum. It is one that is like a sequence, like a Fibonacci sequence, a Christic spiral. It goes tighter and tighter into itself as it goes up, and tighter into itself as it goes down simultaneously. There's a rising of consciousness and a deepening of understanding simultaneously. But when you're so fixed, you got blinders on. You just focused on that, focused on that. My life is about you. I need to, I live only for you. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop tricking yourself into continuing toxic cycles. You do not exist for any single person. You exist to explore yourself in a physical form with a new overlay of individuated identity. I'm not here for my husband. It's amazing to be able to travel this life with him consistently walking by my side. It's a beautiful thing. It's empowering. It helps to bring my softness to the surface. His presence does that, where I can be soft. I don't always have to be like fists up, like I'm fuck shit up. I don't have to be hard like that. I can be soft. I can be vulnerable. I can be helpless. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. But do I exist just for that? No, it's only one component. It's only just one component. I appreciate it for what it is, a huge, beautiful place within me where he's created safety. But the important thing to understand is it's within me. It's something I allowed. I gave him access to that. When you have these blinders on, because really for a long period, I had this like visual. That's so fucking obnoxious. Ever since I was little, I've had this visual. This is the person that I'm supposed to end up with. Specific hair color, specific eye color, specific complexion, specific height, specific attitude, specific behaviors, just specific. And I mean, my husband is polar opposite from that. And it's beautiful. It's healing. It helps me to learn in a very soft, gentle way. Um, Sometimes the things I see, I'm interpreting it wrong. I'm not really understanding what this is supposed to mean. I'm jumping to conclusions. And, how does that benefit me? It doesn't. It doesn't. Because had I based my decisions strictly on that one specific thing that I keep seeing over and over and over and over and over since I was a small child, I probably would not have given my husband the time of day. I probably would not have. No, I don't think so. Nope. And look at what I would have missed out on, like an amazingly beautiful, empowering, healing type of connection. He's not my twin. He's not a twin anything. He's not a twin anything. It's a fucking beautiful, powerful relationship, beautiful, powerful connection with someone who's not my twin, where I don't have to encourage him to like the same things as me. We like very opposite things. Like, we like very opposite things. We are polar opposites. And he still chooses to familiarize himself with the things that I do just because he wants to be a part of whatever it is I'm really enjoying. And I've gotten to a point where I like to be familiar with the things that he likes. I want to be able to know what he's talking about. I want to be able to enjoy that with him. And it's a beautiful middle ground, and we can still be polar opposites. We can still have no titles that obligate us to each other. That's a fucking beautiful thing. Um, yeah, there's no obligation there. There's just a sense of freedom and a knowing that I'm here because I want to be, a knowing that you're here because you choose to be. I don't know how much more powerful a love can be. Like, how many people who strive for that twin flame, twin ray relationship, how many of them have that? I don't know. The ones that I know that do have that and they are with their counterpart, um, they don't really identify as that. It's just one of those things like, oh, did you guys know? Well, we kind of figured, but who cares? When you're chasing after a title, chasing after an illusion. So, card number 16, melting mask, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. This is about allowing people to be who they are in your life, not who you want them to be, who you expect them to be. A lot of people will come in and out of your lives, and many people who do, you will have some sort of expectation, some sort of preconceived notion of who they're going to be. Is that how it's going to play out? Probably not. Because what usually ends up happening is their soul will begin to shine through. And whatever, mask, theatrical mask you've placed on them, it will melt. And then that's when you begin to feel very disappointed. That's when you begin to feel very abandoned, very, very punished, punished by life, punished by love, punished by creation. Why is he doing this to me? What is he doing? He ain't even there. What is he doing? Why doesn't he love? Well, why are you trying to force him to feel something he doesn't? Why are you trying to force her to feel something she doesn't? It's the same thing as like the people who are upset with me because I don't know why she's denying me. I'm her twin. Do you know how many fucking twins I've have if that's the case? Do you know how many? Do you know how many? Like, no, I don't need that. I don't need that from you. I don't need you to force upon me some sense of obligation because you believe something. You've convinced yourself of something. I'm not convinced here. And I'm not asking you to convince me either. I'm letting you know. It's not a challenge. I'm not inviting you to prove something. I'm explaining to you. It's a statement. I'm not convinced. I'm not believing what you're believing. And I have a right not to. I have the right, the power, the authority to choose what I believe in. There's nothing anyone can do to change that. Like, you can't convince me of something if I don't want to be convinced. That's a waste of time. So when you spend all this time trying to convince people of this or that, and why are you doing it? Is it because you don't really fully truly believe this? You kind of like, I heard it somewhere, it kind of, sort of. Well, I don't really know, but I need you to agree so that I feel better and more secure about this. It's just like with religion, like when people would come on my lives and start talking about religion, start addressing the people who are there in the live with me of like, you guys don't really believe this, do you? Well, everyone's free to believe what they want and don't want to believe. Why do you need everyone else in the audience to not believe with you? You either believe or you don't. And if you don't, why are you here? Oh, to gather support. Support for a belief that you don't really know if you believe. Because for me personally, if I believe something, I don't need you to agree or believe it with me. If I lived through it, I fucking witnessed it. I witnessed it my damn self. Um, Years ago, someone was like, "Yeah, no, there's no such thing as demons. They're just like mental constructs. They're, the demons are your own thoughts." And that I'm peddling fear. Uh, I'm pretty sure I didn't think about clawing myself before I saw the claw marks on me. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty bendy. I'm pretty sure I'm not bendy enough to be able to bite my flank. Like, I can't reach that. I can't reach the area where my kidneys are to bite myself there. There's teeth marks. And I didn't think of that. I didn't like sit down and meditate and be like, I'm gonna bite myself. I'm gonna like, are you fucking kidding me? No, I didn't do any of that. That's just I felt the pain and my awareness was brought to my back. So I looked in the mirror because that shit fucking hurt. Lo and behold, there's a full Cadillac grill imprinted on top of my kidney. My teeth are big, but they're not that fucking big, nor are they shaped in that way. That's not a mental construct. I don't need people to believe this because I actually lived through it. I don't need other people to validate this. When other people come into your life and they need you to agree, it's because they don't really believe that shit them damn selves. They need your, you know, safety in numbers. Hey, the truly powerful don't need numbers. They just need self and soul. Hmm. Mm-hmm. They just need self and soul. The truly powerful don't need to convince you. They just exist. They radiate their truth. You do it whatever you want. I'm not here to convince you of nothing. I'm just sharing. Solidity, inner core. There is a solidness within your core. When you allow yourself to enter into that core, you become very, very solid in your own truth. You no longer exist to explain, to earn agreement. I don't need you to agree. If you think demons don't exist, I'm actually good. You haven't experienced the fucked up shit I experienced. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. But I'm not sad for me because that fucked up shit that I experienced, that's actually what made me so unfuckwithable at this point. I'm happy for me too. I no longer mourn the type of energetic abuse I endured for so many years. I don't mourn that part of my life anymore. I fucking celebrate that shit. Like, yo, I was fucking really small. And this shit would fucking claw the shit out of me. I was by myself. I was a little kid. It would claw the shit out of me. Like, you couldn't even fuck with me then. You're not fucking with me now, bro. You should have tried harder when I was little. You should have tried harder when I was little. Really. It's too late now. Now you're not fucking with me. Now you come at me, I'm gonna take you fucking all the way down. All the way fucking no hesitation. I'm not gonna feel bad either. Um, you volunteered for me to practice shit on you. Energetically, that's good. Game on. You try to use other people to do this? No, I'm sorry, human being. I've already learned this lesson. Goodbye. Farewell. That's me waving you away. It could be a gentle royal wave or a backhanded slap. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, Um, it's just one of those things. This is better than church. I was so afraid being raised Catholic my entire life. I was afraid. And that's why I spent so much time in the church. Uh, that's why I wanted to become a nun. That was my goal. I wanted to become a nun. Um, hmm. I don't know if this emotion is sadness or rage. I'm trying to temper it with grace. To be taught that the priest is your spiritual father, and this concept taught by society that the father's role is to protect you, to defend, to provide, and to go to that spiritual father and have him look at you with fear, like you are the very demon itself. Mm, thank you for that. Truly. Thank you for that. Because it's in that rejection, it's in that refusal to assist that I really learned the truth of the gravity of my power. Because had they helped me, had the church helped me, um, I probably would have further devoted myself in my life to Catholicism. I probably would have. I probably would have taken that vow of poverty and worked as a servant of religion. And I would have given that religious institution all the credit, all the credit for the salvation of my soul. And I recognize now I was not needing salvation. I was needing to allow myself to give myself permission to really, really allow the fucking badass warrior inside me out. Mm. And now no one else gets that credit. I did it alone through fear. I pushed through my fear. I did it alone, completely alone, not sharing any of these details with anybody ever. Because the one time I did, someone said I needed to be assessed for schizophrenia. Schizophrenics don't question their sanity. And when you spend your entire life questioning, you're not fucking insane. You're going through some spiritual awakening. You are. You are. And I even would study, what is it called? The DSM, DSCM, D something. It is a book that they have that helps to diagnose. This is what doctors reference when they're trying to diagnose you with something. They go by your symptomatic present. I would look in there quite a bit. I would look in there trying to diagnose myself because the doctors didn't know what was wrong. There was nothing wrong. The only thing that was wrong was my refusal to see with clarity how beyond gifted I actually am. And to this day, that's like hard to say. I don't know why it's hard to say. It's kind of like, ooh, I didn't like how that felt. Whatever, girl. Card number 39, perspective. A calm and clear mind is free to see differently. Anything whose goal is to control you through fear based tactics is demonic. Anything that tries to continue to create some sort of confusion within you, questioning, doubting yourself, your divine guidance, um, that's demonic. Demonic teaching, demonic tactics, just demonic. Demonic. Because it's through that that your frequency lowers. That's a way to plummet your frequency to facilitate the breaching of your auric space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you go to a practitioner, um, energetic, spiritual, whatever, and they're trying to convince you that there is something seriously wrong and you need them to fix this, I would question that. I would question that. I know I'm not the only one that can do this type of work. I know you'd be hard pressed to find someone with my level of integrity and skill, but I know there are those who exist. I don't know any of them. I don't personally know any of them. Okay? But I'm sure if you look hard enough, you'll find someone. I do offer services. If it resonates with you, work with me. If it doesn't, go fucking find someone that resonates. Find someone that resonates. I'm not here for profit. I'm here for empowerment. I'm here to facilitate. I'm here to assist. Lots of Trojans. Lots of Trojans. Yeah, yeah, Stacy, DSM manual, a huge book that keeps growing and gets paid dirty money. Yes. I no longer have my DSM manual. I bought one. I figured it was a good investment because I was planning to enter the medical field. Not no more. Card number 17, Lalita Tripur Sandari, the playful red goddess. Life will be an adventure if you let it unfold from within. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Life will be an adventure if you let it unfold from within. Have you allowed your life to unfold from within, or are you forcing the unfoldment from outside? Have you ever tried? I used to do this when I was a kid. I don't know why, but if because we had a lot of rose bushes, Filipinos were big on rose bushes. My grandmother never knew it was me, but I was destroying all her flowers. There would be roses that were bloomed, and then there would be the tight buds. And I wanted to know how it went from a tight bud to that. And so I would start to peel. I would peel them. I wouldn't take the whole bud off. I would hold it ever so gingerly so the stem wouldn't break. But I wanted to be like God and I wanted them to be beautiful. And I would peel them. And then I would realize, I think I killed it, which I did. It killed the flower. Attempting to unfold yourself from the outside kills your sense of self. It completely eliminates your ability to unfold in the most natural, most beautiful, most fragrant way. Yeah, try it. Try it sometime. Get a very tightly closed rosebud, preferably with the green leafy thing still closed on it. Um, don't break the stem so it can continue to grow because I didn't want to kill it. That was not the goal. I just wanted to help it. And try. Let's see how that works. Because you are a macrocosm shrunk into a micro. Um, you're a condensed version, scaled down version of creation, the larger model of creation. That's everything in life. Everything that exists is a scaled down version. And you can see exactly what happens to your spiritual development by experimenting on. I mean, I don't think you should. A lot of things will be hurt. I'll tell you that right now. That flower will never grow into a beautiful rose. It will be a stick in water, and that's all it will be. That will not blossom. Once you start tampering with it in that way, it will not blossom. You will not fix it. You just won't. So, card number 24 is Sri Yantra. Cosmic map to your true, playful, laughing self. When feeling disheartened, stop and watch a child at play. Children are more closely connected to divinity than an adult. They haven't yet had an entire lifetime of programming and disconnection. So watch them play. Listen to the way their questions come out of their mouth. What words do they use? What do they ask about? I know this little boy. I adore him. He talks to his father in the sky. Um, he when it rains. He says it smells like his dad, not his biological dad, his big dad, the one that lives up there. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. When your heart is tired of all of the nonsensical bullshit of human existence, interact with children. Don't tell them how to play. Don't try and force conversations. Just sit there quietly and allow them to come up to you and initiate conversation. You'll be very, very surprised at the type of growth you can experience doing this. This is why I would babysit a ton of kids for free indefinitely. I would. I would. I used to babysit everyone's kids and they could stay with me for as long. I really don't care if you come back. I will keep your child and love it like it's mine. Yeah, no, a lot of people who know me in real life know this. I'm like the babysitter of the group. I will babysit everybody's babies. I will. And then they have the most fascinating conversations with me. I had someone's child, fucking random child. We were at like reading hour at the public library and I was sitting on the floor and someone else's child um climbed into my lap. It was a toddler and I was like, "Oh." I was sitting with my arms back like this and I was like, "Oh, how are you?" And then they turned and faced me and put their hands on my face. And I was like, oh, and I kept my hands down because I'm like, I don't know who's your parent and if they'd be okay with me touching you. And they were like, "Hi, I remember you." From where? From this life. They're like, "I remember you." And I said, "Oh, you do." I didn't say that to the kid. I was like, "Oh, you do." And then after touching my face, which I don't let people do, they went and took each arm and wrapped it around themselves. So now I'm holding them like this in my lap. And I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, "Where's your parent?" And next thing you know, the mom noticed and she came running over, grabbed her child, and was just like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, "No, it's fine. Don't be sorry." But my kids were pissed. My toddlers were like, "She's my mom." It's okay, honey. It's okay. Card number 30, strength. This is another message of you coming out of your waters. Where is it? Coming out of that comfortable element that you've been existing in to hide yourself away. Just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean you should continue to avoid. It's in that discomfort you stretch the outer limits of your perception. Okay, so let's put these down. Card number 24, new birth guarded vigilantly. You are going through periods of growth. You have to guard this vigilantly. Just like when the seedling first emerges from the soil, if it gets trampled in that period, it's probably not going to survive. The roots have not yet been established. Allow yourself to have ample time to reestablish your roots. You are being transplanted into healthier soil. Oftentimes, transplanting of a plant, it can cause the plant to go into shock. You have to go through this process in the most very gentle way possible. You have to be gentle with yourself. Okay, very, very gentle with yourself. When kids like you, it means you still are genuine. Kids fucking adore me. They cry when their parents take them away. And the parents that know me personally who let me babysit, they tend to not want to let me babysit too much because it hurts their feelings. It hurts their feelings when their kids tell them they want me to be their mom. And I'm like, "No, you already have a mom. I can be your auntie." And I've taught children, you have a mom already. I can be your auntie mom, your auntie mom, okay? Like this recognition. I'm a step away from mom. Your mom needs you to love her. Card number 11, diving for light. That was a huge shift. Um, Diving for light. Allow yourself to go very, very deep within your heart's oceans to retrieve the components of your truth that are so necessary. Okay. Um, right. It's okay to have a lot of auntie moms, you know? It's okay to have that. It's also okay to recognize the limitations of your biological mom. She can still be your mom and have these limits. Card number 31, trust yourself. Trust yourself in whatever it is you're being tasked to learn right now by your soul. Your soul is asking you to learn something. What is it? I don't know. You have to ask your soul that. You have to ask your soul. You have to stop asking other people to tell you what your soul is saying. There's nothing productive about living your life like this and then asking someone else to tell you what your soul said. Hear it yourself. Feel it. It is a language that is felt, not heard. Your soul speaks to your heart, which allows you to feel the message, to feel the guidance. When you live in this mindset of, I'm a badass, I don't give a shit, I don't give a fuck, I have zero fucks given. Okay, well, uh, that's not powerful. That comes from a place of fear. You give zero fucks because if you care, then that empowers other people to hurt your feelings. And that's scary. That's scary and it makes you feel powerless. When you enter in a place of true power, I know I'm powerful now because guess what? I give so many fucks. So many. And it's okay for me to care. It's okay for me to want to help and to give and to be extra patient, extra gentle, because there's nothing you can do to break me. No matter how much I give energy, love, compassion, I'll always have more to give. You cannot deplete me because I've entered into a mindset of limitlessness. I can give to you as much as I want and not be depleted. I'm no longer afraid of what your effect on me will be. I'm now in a position of personal power where I can give as many fucks as I want. As a matter of fact, I have an entire storehouse of fucks just filled to the roof, all the way up to the ceiling, just filled with big fucks, little fucks, whole bunch of different shaped fucks. And it doesn't deplete me, it doesn't make me weak because guess what? Entering into that place of power, I recognize now I have to use my discernment. Not everything deserves to receive the fucks that I can willingly give. And that's powerful. Not the type of power that's based on someone else's compliance and subjugation. That's not power. Domination is not power. I'm not powerful because I can dominate you. I am powerful because I don't need to. Let that sink in. Card number 32, faith in the process. Faith in the process. If you can't walk anymore, trust in your soul's ability to carry you. Carry you, build a bridge for you to walk over the river of bullshit. There's just so many things your soul can do to help return your personal power back to you. But I mean, it can keep delivering packages of personal power. But if you refuse to open the door, if you refuse to receive the package, if you refuse to open the package, it's pointless. It doesn't benefit you in any way, shape, or form. That's like this concept of, oh my God, we cannot have knives because knives can cut, they can kill people, they're dangerous. But they're also tools with which you can use to open the packages and retrieve your personal power. So why would we get rid of knives? Society exists in such a way where it tries to continue to convince you to disarm yourself, to completely rid yourself of the very tools that will facilitate your growth. Society says it's not okay for you to say you're powerful. It's not okay for you to recognize your worth, to make statements that don't involve degrading other people, diminishing other people's sense of self. Like if I were to make a statement of, I am fucking powerful, A lot of people would receive that as, oh my God, Emmy is so full of herself. Oh my God, Emmy is just, that's toxic. She's narcissistic. No, I'm honest. My power has nothing to do with your weakness. It doesn't. I can make a genuinely honest statement of a recognition of my elevated power and still be able to look at you and see, oh my God, you're powerful too. Fucking high five. High five. When people can't celebrate the recognition of your worth, that you recognize your worth, it's usually because they can't recognize their own. That's not your problem. It's not. The fact that I can celebrate someone else's recognition of their worth, that tells me I really am in a place of power for myself, just for me. My personal power is about me and my growth, my ability to maintain my auric space, my ability and willingness to expand my awareness. Notice how it has nothing to do with anyone. Nothing to do with, I'm gonna put you in your place. I'm gonna fuck your ass up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. The only time you'll hear me say that kind of stuff or have that kind of energy is when I need to mirror something someone else is doing so they can understand you're not going to play that shit here. This is a fucking sacred place, okay? You're not going to put a fucking carnival on my sacred ground. Do that clown shit somewhere else. This is for a place of growth. This is a place for healing. This is a place that's a sanctuary for the soul, not that carnival clown shit. Not that carnival clown shit. Do that shit across the street in the parking lot by the dumpsters outside of my space. I don't fucking think so. Nope. Mm-mm. And they will try and shame you for this. They'll try and gather up all kind of people to shrink you down. Why do you need to shrink? So you can fit better in that box. You know what they put in boxes? Inanimate things that they don't want cluttering their space, that they have no value for. It's clutter, so it needs to be hidden away. You know what else they put in boxes? I'm about to get real rough and raw right now. Cover your ears, mute me if you're sensitive, okay? You know what else they put in boxes? Dead bodies. I'm still fucking alive. I'm sorry. You're not putting me in a fucking box. I am still alive. You are not putting me in a box. You are not burying me. You are not shelving me somewhere so that your place can be less. No, I don't fucking think so. Go to your own fucking house and gather all your tchotchkes. I'm not a tchotchke. You make my ears itch. You make my ears itch. Stop touching my ear. Michael keeps touching my ear. What do you want? What do you want? Card number 8, be the hunter, not the hunted. What? He never tells jokes. He's telling a joke right now. Okay. In your head, in your head, something. Okay, card number 8, be the hunter, not the hunted. Allow yourself to receive. Take in all the things you need to take in. These can be things that hurt your feelings because those feelings are based on lies. The very lies that you tell yourself to help perpetuate other people's use of you. Let that go. Let it go. Card number 4, against the grain. Everyone wants to be seen as a diamond, yet they don't want to go through the process of being polished. hmm They don't want to be rubbed. They don't want to be polished. They want to just be the diamond. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Even Jesus had to go through that process of taking that raw diamond and turning it into a polished, finished product. Do you know how many times, periods of his life, were completely gone? No one knows what happened then. I promise you, there was literature, there were writings that said exactly what happened then, but they're not allowed to be spoken of. Why is that? Because then it gives us a knowing that we can be Christ like, just like Him. This is something we can cultivate within ourselves. This is something we can achieve. within this lifetime. And all these teachings, all of these works that teach us to best emulate and become our highest Christic selves, that's thrown away. That's thrown away. I had someone come on a video last night. Hold on. They commented. Hold up. Let me find this. I just gotta share this with you guys. This shit cracks me up. Hold on. So she just commented Leviticus 19, verse 31. Let me look that up. I want to quote it. Leviticus 19 colon 31. Okay. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. So Leviticus is Old Testament. First off, two things, okay? Two things before I end this. Leviticus, Old Testament. Old Testament, it's suspected by many scholars that it was actually in reference to a demiurge, which is like a lesser god. Hence the statement of, thou shalt not worship any god before me. It's a recognition that there are other gods equal or higher level, and you are not to worship any of them. Only me, because I'm an insecure motherfucker. And then there's speculation that this God of the Old Testament um, has a lot to do with the Shaitan, which is an archaic form of Satan, which is a name for a fallen being who wanted to be God, usurp the power of creator, and is the very being that initiated the rebellion. I'm not talking about Lucifer. Y'all do the research on your own. I don't know if you'll find some. These are conversations I had with Michael. So that's first thing, okay? Second thing, if you truly believe that, why the fuck are you on the video of someone that is what you suspect to have spiritual familiars? Michael, they are calling you a familiar. They have demoted you from Archangel, right hand of God, the motherfucking destroyer of divinity. They turned your ass into a familiar. Lower level. Why are you on my video though? I mean, if you truly believe that when you regard someone who is a psychic and all of this stuff, that you're exposing yourself to demonic energy, why are you going on demonic videos? Because if that that's your concept, that's your belief that the work that I do is demonic and I work with demons, Michael, um aren't you exposing yourself to demons by coming on the video to comment? So what are you? A blasphemer, a whore of Babylon, here to attempt to defile the very thing created by creation. Because really, what created me? What was it that determined the measures and components that I would be made of? The parts of me that would be left active, the gifts that come from Creator itself. The whores of Babylon need to sit the fuck down. You are speaking to a perfectly created being made by the very hands of God itself. You attempting to defile me is blasphemy. You are saying that a lesser being was able to overtake the hands of God? Really, really think about your fucking logic, how fucking flawed it is. My very existence is proof of divinity. You think I was able to do this shit by myself? You think some lesser demon will be able to give me this kind? I'm sorry. No. Only God itself can create me in this manner. Only God itself has the authority and the ability to form me in the way I was formed. Sit down, whores of Babylon. Your words are not valued here. And this is coming from a Catholic, baptized and confirmed, receiving all my sacraments, except for the final rites. Yeah, yeah, no. I recognized a long time ago the reason I was born and indoctrinated so deeply into a religion is to be able to stand against it, knowing full well what it hides within it, fear and separation from God itself. This was not the teaching of Jesus. It's quite the opposite. This was not the teaching of Jesus. So you're telling me Jesus had familiars. Who the fuck do you think protected him from so much shit? How do you think he knew so much? Because he spoke quite often with these familiars, with angelic beings. Are you fucking kidding me? You want to shame me to further separate me from my return to my Christic greatness? I exist as a template for other people so they can lose their fear. There is nothing demonic about me. I embody divinity. My presence, my existence is further proof that divinity is real. All my work is in alignment with divinity's purpose. I'm not here for glory, fame, celebrityhood. Mhm. I'm here to remind all of you, you and I are no different. The only difference is I've lost my fear. You want to become powerful within your own life? Stop listening to these motherfuckers who are trying to make you afraid of your own process. Because I listened to all of that, I would not. I refused to tap into my own abilities. I didn't need to be tormented by demonic shit my whole fucking life. I didn't need to. I chose to because I allowed my fear to separate me from my greatness. Really let that sink in. The things that you experience in your life, did you need to experience that or did you choose to because you were too afraid to be different, to be seen as different, to be, identified as evil, demonic? Really, what is that? That's demonic fucking behavior. Demonic shit needs your fear. It feeds off of it. When you're afraid, you surge energy just like adrenaline. This is a trauma induced secretion. When you surge energy and you have blockages, your energy pools, that facilitates demonic feeding. You have sore areas in your body. Like, oh, my back's been hurting, but I haven't worked out. I didn't sleep weird. It's just hurting. You're probably experiencing something you need assistance with. Don't be scared. You've been experiencing this your whole life. What's the difference? Now you're just aware. And because you're aware, now you can do something about it. It's not something to be afraid of. It's actually proof that you are an energetic being and that you have excess energy. And that's all that means. But when you allow the whores of Babylon, I mean, if we're going to use if we're going to use scripture, that's used in scripture. It is. Hold on. Cuz my memory sucks. Let me Google it. Okay. Revelation 17 verse 1 through 18. An angel shows John the judgment of a whore named Babylon, who represents the violence and destruction that nations inflict. Um, yeah, yeah, it's religious terms. Sit down, whores of Babylon. You're in the presence of divinity. Every single last one of us here, we don't need any more of your bullshit. That's why we're here. We're here to remember our greatness. We're here to remember we are shards of divinity itself. You will not shut us up. You will not close us down. That time is done. Peddle your fears somewhere else. There is no hell that I will burn in. There will be a fire, though, and that will come from my inner divinity because, motherfuckers, the only reason I will let you burn me in this life is to let my phoenix rise. You might have burned me in other lives, but not this one. I will neither agree to be burned nor crucified. Fuck that shit. I will continue to exist as a template of truth for people to find their own greatness. Do not listen to anyone who is trying to tell you you are less than what you actually are. That is a missing factor. Let me go on, brush your shoulders off. Yeah, no, I think it's this stone. Like, it's making me so much. I think it's this stone, is what it is. I think that's what it is. I'll show you guys. Hold up. I created this little um, necklace of natural material because I'm allergic to metal stuff. But here, look at this. Where is it? Ooh, it's changing and it's, hold on. Let me shine it up. So, if you see that, this right here, it looks like a heart and it's being filled. Do you see that? It's like a heart being filled. And if you look, this is like a heart on its side. So, yep. Let's just put that back right there. All right. So it's time for me to go. I think I've spoken enough. I think because I took the necklace off, I need to. um um oh shit. Okay. So I have this other necklace. I haven't worn it because I want to change the cord. Um I don't want to let go of the necklaces. There's some left. There's some left. Hold on. um, I don't know. I don't want to. I want to keep them all. But look, this one. This one has a baby dragon and one that's flying. Hold on. Hold on. If you see it in person, this right here looks like Toothless, the dragon. It looks like it's looking back, and this looks like the. Ooh, now it looks like a phoenix. Fuck yeah. Okay, I gotta put this back on. um, yeah, I gotta go. My allergies have been kicking my ass. I just gotta go. I gotta go. So, final thoughts. Don't listen to the whores of Babylon. Tell them bitches to mind their own business. Work on yourself. Hold yourself accountable for the decisions you make. Hold yourself accountable for the ways in which you keep yourself shackled to this preconceived notion that you're not allowed to be more than what someone else gives you permission to be. Y'all, y'all, nobody gave me permission to be who I am. The only reason you are witnessing it now is because I stopped needing permission from someone outside of me. So there's no difference between us. You come from the same greatness. You are made of the same greatness. To that same greatness, you are returning. Lose your fear because the components of your greatness are just on the other side of it. Lose your fear. Lose your fear of who you are. Okay. I'll tell them you told me to say so. Give them my channel too. Don't just tell them that I told you. Give them the link for this video and then ask them, are you identifying yourself as a whore of Babylon? Emmie wants to know. Quote that shit. 1 hour, 28 minutes, 57 seconds. Hello, I'm asking, are you a whore of Babylon? Because only the whore of Babylon would seek to usurp another's sovereign right. So you don't have to quote anymore. Just tell them, give them the link, give them the time. I already asked for you. I already asked for you. All right, guys, I gotta go. I love y'all. Oh, I'm going live to do expedites later today. Or maybe not. I kind of just want to take a nap and bake some cake. We shall see. I love you guys. Goodbye. Dad.